Hello you guys, and welcome to another WildCraft update video. It is me, Jay, and as you can see, we have some of our WildCraft wolves here in these little pens, and I'd like to show off to you guys the new breeding mechanic that I've just finished programming in. So as you can see, we have a variety of genetics here, and all these wolves look quite different. We do see several recurrences of the black coloration. That's actually going to be turned down in the spawn rates. They still spawn too frequently, and I need to just tweak some of the numbering. But let me go ahead and show you. So the basics that you'll need for breeding is you're going to need 2 wolves, and you're going to have to actually check to see if they are male or female. So if we look at these, we can shift-click, and you can see up here it says female wolf. And if we click on this black one, it says male wolf. And right now these guys are actually set to wandering. Now there are 3 modes of movement. Let me just spawn in a wolf here and tame it. And you can actually see, so it starts in the sitting mode. If you click it once, then it starts to follow, and you can see this wolf is going to follow me around. And then if you click it again, it actually goes into wander mode. I can walk off, it's not going to follow me, and if we watch, we'll see that, yeah, it's going to start moving on its own. It's not actually following me, it's just kind of doing its own thing. Let me put you back in sitting mode. So, to breed your wolves, you're going to want to have them on wander mode, and so as you can see, these guys are moving freely about their pens. So, we have a baked potato here. This is not going to be the breeding food in the final version. I just arbitrarily set it to baked potato because I wanted something that was distinguishable from the regular diet. You will have a certain breeding item to be able to feed them in the actual version of the game, or in the actual version of the mod. And to breed your wolves, you just have to click them each with the baked potato, and they will go ahead and breed, and you'll get a notification that says that your wolf is now pregnant. Now, if they have names, it will actually use the names and let you know which one, which wolves have been bred, and then that's not supposed to pop up twice. That'll be fixed in the final version. Just forgot to update that. And you can see I'm going to have you sit down right here. We'll kind of push you out of the corner, I think, because this is the female, and she's given birth to 3 puppies. So you can have litters in this. I have the spawn rate for multiple pups turned up very, very high, and they all start on wandering, and you can see here, we actually have a very large variety of genetics now. This one here has inherited the father's, you are the father, right? Yes, the father's, has inherited the father's black coat, and so you can also see the puppies will spawn at the female instead of arbitrarily in the middle. And there is actually a pregnancy time that's going to be a lot longer than what you saw there. Again, it's turned down for testing purposes. You can see we actually have one that's gotten the brindle pattern, which means that these 2 are carrying that recessively because neither one of them displays it. And we have one that looks a lot like the mother. Now, that's not always going to happen, but it does have the possibility of happening. Right now I have the spawn rates for pups set to anywhere between 1 to 5. We have a villager coming to admire our new doggos here. And so you'll see that these guys do tend to inherit different looks, and they can inherit recessive genes from the parents, which is how you can get some of those very, very rare recessive genes. You have to breed for them, so like this brindle, neither of them displays it. You won't actually find it displayed in the wild, but at least one of them is carrying that. And so, or actually, I can tell you right now it's him, because this black coat is the most dominant, and this brown with the shaded coat is actually less dominant, and so the brindle would fall between those, and so he has the brindle. And so this pup, I can tell you right now, inherited brindle from the father, and then the mother's clear coat that will show the other markings. The genetics are a lot more complicated than that. I will have a guide to that when the mod actually comes out. I'm not going to go into detail on it now. So let's go out this gate, and let me just set the time today here. We don't want any nasties coming out at night, and we just don't want it to be dark. So let's come in here. We'll try this again. Again, you can see we've got a female and we've got a male. If we click them with the baked potato and they're already on wander, then the female is now pregnant. I'm going to make the male sit. I'm going to try and get the female to sit in the middle here so we can see the pups nice and clear when they're born. And again, this time period is going to be a lot longer. It just is a very short period of time right here so that I can test it easily. And you'll see And again, these messages will be customized for if you name your wolves. It will tell you which wolf is going to be giving birth. And 4 puppies this time. And, ooh, okay, so we've got some interesting things here. Let's move them out a little bit. So you can actually see we've got some really interesting looks here. So you can see some of them inherited the patterning they got from their mom. Some of them just have the plain coats like their dad. And I'm guessing this brown coloration came from the mom because you can see this is the gray coloration. And so the black coat will override anything underneath. And then white is laid over that, and so I'm guessing the mom has brown genes. I'm not actually looking in depth at the genetics. I'll go over that another time, but I don't want to spoil too much right off the bat. And as you can see, they have this white coloration, and they actually have a different type of white coloration than the mom. You can see her pattern is a little bit different than their pattern. And so there's actually quite a few possibilities. I believe there's 20 possible patterns for white alone. And so there's quite a few possibilities here that you can get quite a few genetics. I believe there's literally thousands of combinations. So this mod is going to give you quite a lot of opportunity to be playing around with the breeding and such. And so you can see we also had 4 pups this time as opposed to 3 this last time. And if we come over here to the last cage, then let me show you a few other things here with these guys. So again, we have a male and we have a female. I'm going to make them both sit, so you can see if we click them with the baked potato, they're not going to get up, they're not going to breathe, they're not going to do anything. If we put them in follow mode, so they will follow me, if I try to move around, they're not going to do anything. But if we click them to put them both in wander mode, then they immediately do the Minecraft breeding thing. And we get the message saying that the female is pregnant. So let's have the male sit down, and we'll have the female come over here and she'll sit. I'm going to push her out of that corner just so that we can see the pups more clearly. Nobody's trying to glitch into the fence or anything. And she should give birth any moment now. And hopefully we'll see another number. So right now between 1 to 5 pups can be born, or 1 to 5 or 1 to 4. I can't actually remember which. I do plan to have that be a configurable number. So as you can see, 4 puppies. And I'm probably going to turn down the spawn rate or have it be configurable. And as you can see, we've got some very different looks here. A lot of them took after the mom because she does have some very dominant genetics there. And as you can see, though, if you look at the eye colors, you can actually see that there's some variation there, and some of them got different eye colors. Now, the reason being that the way the eye color system works, there's one that controls the color and one that controls the light and dark. And so as you can see, this one got the same color as the mom, this one got the same color as the dad, and these ones got the same shade as the dad and the same color value, no, they got the same color value as the dad and the same shade value as the mom. And so it's a little bit complicated, and that's where I kind of expounded on the genetics a little bit, because I don't think a whole lot is known about actual dog eye color genetics yet. Unfortunately, there's some things that are not always very well known with the genetics. It's still a very researched thing, but for the most part, at least the coloration of the fur is fairly accurate to what we know of real-life canine genetics. So when you spawn wolves in the wild, I'll go ahead and show you here. I showed some of the spawn mechanics. You're going to see a lot of colorations like this. And so let's have you sit down. You're going to see stuff like this. You're going to see these browns. A lot of them are going to have this shading on the back. That is a gene that you can get. A lot of them are going to just be gray, brown, black, or in the snow areas you might see white ones. And so this is your pretty standard gene, and your fairly standard gene base. The thing is, a lot of these genes are very dominant, so by selectively breeding, you can get the genes that are hiding beneath the surface and get those to show, which is exactly what we see here with this little guy. So this little guy actually has the brindle gene. And that is something that you can't find naturally in the wild. It's not going to spawn normally. And you're going to see it then only appearing through breeding. So you can also get certain eye colors. You can get very rare... you can find rare eye colors. You can find rare fur colors. There are certain genes that you can only get through breeding. And so it's definitely going to be something where you have to play around quite a lot to see some of the genes that you are going to want to breed in. This gene here is actually one that you can normally get mostly through breeding. It does spawn very rarely on wild wolves, and so this one was a rare exception. And so you'll definitely see quite a lot of variety. But you can see here, there's a lot of variety between the different looks you can get. You can see we have black and white, we have brown and white. There's just a ton of combinations, and I think it'll be very fun for you guys to get the chance to search for all of them. Now, I'm continuing to work on the mod. I still don't have a release date for it just yet, but I'm hoping it'll be relatively soon here. It's definitely getting there. I just have to finalize some of the AI things, and oh my goodness, can you guys, like, not sit on top of each other like that? That's creepy. Your textures are blending together. One last thing that I would like to say is that I now have a Patreon set up for the mod. If you would like to support its continued development and help ensure that we're going to have more WildCraft, you can find a link to that in the description. So yeah, definitely check that out if you're interested in supporting the mod. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and stay tuned for the next one.